Bonjour! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Fasten up your seatbelt and enjoy this journey into Muse World with Lamia and Lopez.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of Me as Well. Today, I have not one guest, I have two guests with me, and not just any guest, I have two beautiful ladies with me. We have Erica and Fernanda with us today. Hello.
Hello. Hello, Mia.
How are you? Thank you for coming back. Everyone knows you by now. I think I said your name a million times in each and every single episode.
Yeah, I know.
She's famous in my life.
Hello, everyone.
And Fernanda is a new guest with us. So Fernanda, before we start, obviously because no one knows you, give us like a quick intro of you. Like who are you? Where are you from?
Well, I'm Fernanda Lopez. I'm from Mexico.
Okay.
And I've been here in Dubai since 6 years. I'm working as an interior designer as Erica. And yeah.
Thank you. That was a sweet introduction. I love it. So today we're going to change it up. We're not talking anything too deep, but we're talking about a very hot topic. We're talking about dating. Dating in general, dating in Dubai, red flags, green flags, beige flags. That's why I'm in beige. I'm neutral right now at the moment. But yeah, we're going to talk about dating. So, just to give you a bit of a quick background, we're both singles. She's not single. She's dating, serious, almost married with kids. I'm joking. She's
no kids, please.
she's just a taken woman.
No offense to kids, but
but we're the only single ones at the moment. So, but before you dated that handsome man of yours, you were also single.
Of course. And mingling.
So, we're going to start.
And mingling. A little bit. Diaz, turn up your camera.
No, Diaz, you shouldn't watch this episode. It's not meant for you. Anyway. Well, let's talk about dating. So, I think because if we talk about dating in general, I think it's going to be quite broad and we'll spend hours speaking about it. But let's talk about dating in Dubai. I think that would be a very good subject to start with. So...
Not crying.
No, you can. I have tissue. So, what is your experience, girls, with dating in Dubai? Obviously, you before DS.
Yeah, of course. You wanna go? I think it has changed over the years. When I was younger, I feel it was easier. Or I don't know, maybe guys when they are younger, they are like more spontaneous. And as I get older, like I feel like even to set up a date, like they take years, or I don't know, it's more difficult. Yeah. When I was like 22 or 23, well, like yeah, like let's go out tonight, like it was more easier or something. And in Dubai is, I don't know, it's complicated.
But what do you mean by complicated? Go on.
No, I feel like we spend a big time on like working. Like,
yeah, true.
People, like we live to work, basically. So like for me, it was difficult at the beginning. Like if I'm always like at home at the gym or at my house, like I don't go out that much, or like, so of course you're going to like dating apps, and that's like another rabbit hole.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
I don't know if you want to add something to...
Oh, well, I've been here longer than you girls.
Yeah, so go on. Tell us how it was
years.
before. Is it the same?
It's, I feel it's pretty much the same, but it had changed for me a little bit because I was a cabin crew when I came here. And cabin crew have a reputation. So not a very good one, unfortunately. And this is totally wrong. There's everything in the cabin crew industry, good girls, bad girls, and so for the men. But yeah, so it was difficult to be taken serious. And dating apps are horrible. I mean, my experience, like I know people who met their other half through dating apps, but it wasn't my case. Mine was organic, which I love. That happened that way. Actually, all my relationships were organic, even the less good ones.
Wait, do you want to know something that my mom says? Like, your best relationships are the ones that are being out of
the blue,
organic.
Yeah.
The ones that are like from the dating apps are my most trauma experience.
I think I agree with you girls, but do you know what? I always thought that the problem was Dubai, but I think it's just overall in the whole world. Like it's just, I feel like nowadays dating became very hard because of many reasons. First of all, options. Like we talked about dating apps, there's options. And I've always had that very bad feeling, or I don't like the dating app because there's that kind of expectation. So if you're on the dating app, and obviously you can put all your filters and say, okay, I want this hide this thing, I want serious relationship whatsoever. But even if you put all that, if you first speak to someone, you wouldn't know even if that's the right person, because you have to engage in a conversation, get to know the person, like really go in depth to know, oh, maybe he's the right guy. So it's kind of setting this kind of expectation. But again, I have two very good friends of mine who's married through and met their husband through dating apps. I don't know how they did it, but they did it, and they're happy.
But I feel like also with these filters, like it's even worse. I don't know, for some reason.
Yeah.
Because then you are like, okay, this height, like this nationality or whatever, like you have all these like checklist. Then when you met that person, and if it's not what you were expecting, it's like, oh, you already like made out of something in your mind. True. And when it's not that person, you're like, never mind. When before we had, like, I remember, like, it was Tinder. And like long time ago, the first time I went on a date was like, I mean, on a dating app, it was, I think I was 21, and it was like, there was not questions, there was not a lot of information, you didn't know the height, you didn't know all of those things, and I don't know, it had like a little bit of mystery, which it was nice. I mean, it could be like something nice good, and also something nice not good,
very bad.
But like I remember
got catfished twice.
Oh, no
but I was not here. I was in London.
I've never been catfished.
Oh my god, it was so bad.
But by the way, my favorite question when I go on a dating app, I always ask the guy, like, oh, like, how is like date girls like in Dubai, like, because as a girl you have the experience of like a guy. Yeah. And a lot of them, they will say like the catfish is like big thing.
I got catfished twice, but thank God it was not here. It was in London. So the first,
at least not here in my house.
The first one, he said that he was 1.90 meters, like 190 centimeter.
Yeah.
And the picture was a little bit like from far. So you know when you take like a 0.5 picture selfie of you, and you look tall, and I was like, oh wow, very tall man. Yeah. He was shorter than me. And I'm short. You know me, I'm very short. So I was like, hi. And I was like, what? It was my first time. And it was also my first time going on a date.
Didn't you tell him anything?
But I didn't know. What did you say? Like, I used to think that, and then people were like, Fernanda, like, that's so mean. And I'm like,
and isn't it mean that you come lying to me? Because I'm sorry, if you think that you have a chance by lying, you're already starting with the wrong foot.
Exactly. No, I agree. I completely. But I think at that time I was relatively young. And for me, I was very uncomfortable. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? And that date, everything that could go wrong in that date went wrong that date. So he said, I was invited for dinner.
So is this been your worst date?
Yes, hold on. I'm going down memory lane. No, I had my toxic ex, but that's another story. But if we're talking, that's another. But if like first date thing, yes, I think I would rank him. I don't know if he's the first worst date, but he was one of the worst date, because so he invited me for dinner in a very fancy place in London. I got ready, decked up and everything. I go, first of all, we have the height situation, and we started to have a drink, then 2 drinks. 3 drink, 4 drink, and then
I wanted to see him taller.
I was trying.
Or double.
I was trying.
Double.
And then after that, he's like, oh, should we go somewhere else for like a dance party? And I was like, oh no, sorry, I have to, because I thought we would have dinner. He said dinner. There was no food. And then that's one thing. The worst, the bill comes. So usually when I go on a date, I would always like pull out my phone or my card to kind of show that I am ready to pay half, you know?
Look at my wallpaper.
So, so he goes, so I'm here taking my phone out, and he take out an envelope full of cash. There was like 50 notes of £50 notes, like a big stash like this, okay? The bill was, give or take, I don't even remember, probably like 200 something pounds, because we had a lot of drinks, yeah? And he was like, yeah, we're doing 50-50. And I was like,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
thank you, bye.
what? And I was like, okay, bye. And then he tried to kiss me when he said goodbye, and I moved. I was like, no, thank you very much. And like, what the hell is wrong with no, it's not that easy.
I don't know if, because Erica, like, you're European, like, I feel like in Europe, guys there do more than 50-50, no?
They do. And I do not have a problem going 50-50 eventually. The problem is
20 years later.
20 years later,
I'm
like
fine
if
now.
you know, like if I'm rich
I'm
and
ready.
you're not, then maybe. No, I'm kidding. But no, if you're dating me and you have an interest, it's
Yeah.
not. This is my personal opinion. It's not because I cannot pay, and it's not because I don't want your money. It's because I want you to show me that you have an interest in me, and
Of
that
course.
you would do something nice.
Exactly.
And it's the first date. And yeah, men in Europe, and depending on the country, they're more prone to do that. But we're in Dubai. Well, you were in London.
Yeah,
it's fine.
that was in London, but yeah,
That was, yeah. Maybe
yeah.
when you're a teenager or your early
Yeah,
20s,
maybe.
it's okay, but
yeah,
I
but
wouldn't accept it.
yeah,
now.
I was what, 25, 26, 25, I think. I don't remember. I was 25 probably, yeah. 2000. Too much math. I can't math. No. Anyway, what is your worst date?
We all like, do you know yours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
I will not go much into details.
You can't.
okay?
Yeah, it's fine. You can.
Yeah.
You can just.
So I go on a date. It was a French guy.
Sorry.
They are lovely.
Lovely.
It's the français.
Yeah. Very good looking guy though. And so we met in Buddha Bar in
Okay.
Marina. Buddha Bar, I think. So we went there and we started talking, and after a while he looked at his phone and he's like, oh, you know, my friend is joining us because I haven't seen her in a while. And so this girl comes all of a sudden, like she's dressed up for a date.
I remember this story.
No.
Yes. So at first I was kind of shocked, or I didn't know what was going on.
No.
So we're talking and everything seems normal. And back then I used to smoke. So I was
Mhm.
like, I'm just gonna go outside for a cigarette. So I left and I sent a message to a friend. I was like, I think this guy is trying like to do something like with the two of us, and this is so weird. I don't know, like I'm not sure because I don't know who she is and if he's actually his friend. So
His sister.
Jesus Christ.
So anyway, I went back to the table and I was a bit confused, and then he decided to go to the toilet, and then she talked to me and she's like, oh, so how do you know him? And I just told her we got to talk in a bar, and then he asked me out and here we are. And what about you? And she's like, oh, I met him on Tinder back then. And I was like, oh. And she's like, yeah, so I never met him before. This is my first time too.
Was
That
that the
was-
Tinder? What's it? Tinder.
Tinder thing.
Yeah, Tinder. Blah, blah. That
Yeah.
thing, you know that thing.
Yeah, no, it wasn't him. No, it wasn't that guy.
And then?
So basically he wanted to have
2 dates at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, imagine like you
a
just
three-way
set up
kind of
5
thing.
dates and you're like, just meet me here, and they all come.
I love that. So next time I'll just set an appointment.
Yeah.
Send me a Google invite.
Honestly, it's a smart. He like, I can just like pick
Yeah.
up which one wins this night.
No, but he wanted to have a three kind of situation, a three-way. And when I decided to leave, he was asking me, but why? And I was like,
Yeah.
what do you mean why?
Why?
And he was messaging me when I left. I was just so upset. I mean, there's people who enjoy that and fine, but you need to ask.
Yeah, you
Of
should
course,
ask.
You
I
don't
mean,
just-
assume like, oh, okay, she will. Anyway,
Yeah.
you know, like it's like, excuse me,
Yeah.
but I think that's also because of the quality of women. I mean, there's beautiful women. I'm not gonna put all the eggs in one basket. Don't come and attack me. But there are also certain. I mean, it's not just about anywhere, and like even I'm sorry, but Madagascar, my own country, they do it for the living. So
Yeah.
yeah. Now you.
Well, like mine has a little bit of a trigger warning. I'm joking.
What?
Trigger warning.
Okay.
Because I was actually young. I mean, it was again the first dates I used to have, and I was here in holiday in Dubai. So I matched with this guy. He was Lebanese. He picked me up. He was like, we went to one date, and he asked me again. So I'm like, okay, like it's fine. I was like a tourist, so I didn't know Dubai, and he picked me up in his car, and we are driving, and then we end up like I didn't know where we are. Like it was like I don't know, like it was like far, like maybe like around Sharjah and all of that area. So then he parked in like in a lot or in a parking, and it was like in front of a hotel. And then he told me like, I got a room for us, and I'm
Excuse
like,
me. What?
yeah, and I'm like, what do you mean? and he was like, yeah, like for us, and I'm like, but like you didn't even ask me, like I didn't know where we were going, and I told him like, no, like I just like, can you please just take me home? Like I will not go. And he got so mad, and like then he was like angry, and then I was really scared, because he was like, what do you mean, like I booked this hotel, then you owe me 500 dirhams, and I'm like, I didn't know you were bringing me to like a hotel. So he was so angry, like I thought like I didn't know what to expect. So we were in his car, we went back to, he was gonna drop me, and then he was screaming, like shouting, and he was like, I'm just like returning because I have sisters, and I don't know, like he was like angry, like another level. And I was like, I started to panic, so I didn't have internet, and I just start recording like a voice note just to show it to my friend, like to like, this is what happened to me, like I was not gonna do nothing with that record. And because I was in the car, and you can see the reflection of the
phone.
of the phone. So when he looked, he noticed that I was like recording. He got even like more pissed off, like delete all my information, give me your phone, like I will delete everything. And I'm like, I don't know, I think he got scared, maybe he thought like I was sure to like the police, but I never crossed my mind. And finally he drove me home, like I didn't know what to do, like I was thinking like I will just like wherever I see a stop, like I will just run from the car, like, and I will find out like how to reach home. But yeah, thankfully he drove me home, and he just left, and that's it. That's the last thing I knew about him.
I didn't know this story actually.
No,
He never told me. But how long ago was this?
8 years ago, or yeah, 8 years.
Here in Dubai.
Yeah, in Dubai. I was just like a student.
Yeah, but you were a tourist here back then.
Yeah, I was a tourist, so I didn't know where we were or nothing, like. But now now that I know, it was church.
It was in Sharjah.
Yeah,
on
that
top
he
of
took
everything.
me to.
Jesus
hotel.
Christ. Oh, it's disgusting because. Do you know what? The thing is, I don't lose hope about dating in general. I mean, you are a perfect example of that. Like, we've seen a lot of people. But damn, it's hard. Like, I think the hardest, and correct me if I'm wrong, but for me personally, I think the hardest is having genuine people. Like, you think, for example, in our cases, we think that, oh, this guy is genuine and all of that. But in reality, they're not genuine. They're just faking it. They're just looking for something for, like I like to call it, a quick dopamine hit.
But the thing is, how would you know through an app that they're genuine? That's the problem.
That's
There's
true.
no way to know.
But again, I think that still, when you meet people like face to face, all of my relationship or should I say, situationship. I think that's the word for Dubai. Situationship. I have not been in a relationship, like a proper one, in Dubai, and I don't know why. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's the age. Maybe now I have maybe more like requirements, or I'm very strict with what I'm looking for, that it's getting harder.
It can be, but also maybe it's just because you haven't found the right person.
True.
Could be just that. And I believe that the right person comes whenever you're ready for it. And it's not about age. It can be at any age.
True.
I think one of the things that we discussed before, one of the when I was dating, and I mean, I stopped now. I'm retired completely.
Are you? From dating?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, I just give up. I just.
Are you giving up on the idea of dating, or like going on dates, or are you giving up on the idea of love in general?
No. I feel like now that's not a priority anymore. Like for me now, before, like, I was in dating apps and all of that. Now it's not like a focus on like dating someone. I feel like sometimes the more you search for it, the more you get disappointed.
Yes.
So I feel like, I would just need to live my life, and if that right person comes, it comes. If not, like.
And what do you think you struggle with when you were, like, obviously when you were on apart from the dating apps, when you meet that person that you think you have, that's the person, what do you think is the biggest struggle?
I think it was more like a personal growth that I needed to do. I think it's nothing with them. Even now that I look back and I see all the relationships, like, they told me who they were from the beginning, and I just didn't want to listen, or I didn't want to see things.
Yeah.
And you always know, like, I always say to Erica, like, I know the moment, like, I know exactly the second that something switched, or like something was not right. And sometimes you're like, oh, but like maybe, like, no, like he's just stressed, or like whatever. You put always excuses. And something like it sticks to my head is like, it's either a yes or a no. And if you don't know if it's a yes, then it's a no.
True.
Like, it's not like maybe he's busy. No. Like, it's just like as easy as that. And I feel like guys, they're actually easy, or they are, some of them no, because they also have those experience, like they will promise you everything and they're like, no, like, I'm there, blah blah blah. But once it's the actual time to show, they are like gone. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe with the years also they are more honest. I don't know.
Not everyone.
Not everyone.
But the thing is, you're right. Like, guys are easier. And I remember a friend of mine, a guy friend, told me, if you are in the situationship box, you're not going to get out of that.
True.
Because guys, I don't know. You tell us, because this is what another man told me, but women think differently, because we can go from situationship to relationship. We can develop feelings, but maybe guys are more rational, so they know how to stop the feeling.
Yeah. But I feel like maybe with the age, where I say like it gets better, because you can also, like me, I said, like, now I can like set up my boundaries.
Yeah.
Or like you can actually get into a conversation. Like Fernanda younger, I will be like, it's fine, like I will just go with the flow. And now maybe I can be like, hey, like, I want this, I want that, and maybe he can respond if he's like intelligent enough.
Some men, but the thing is, you never know, because some of them will just like your looks and enjoy your company, and they want to keep you there for the time being, and they wouldn't be completely honest. Again, it's not everyone. I think we're gonna get boxed from this podcast from men, but no, it's not all men. But they sometimes keep you there just because they have an interest, even though they don't want to go any further.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think, as you said, I agree 100%. Either is a yes or is a no. If it's an in between and you have doubts, is always a no. Especially if I look back at my relationships, the 3 main ones that I had, it was clear from the very beginning that it was going somewhere else, like bigger than just a thing. And they will let you know.
Yeah.
Because they will show the interest and the commitment to it. Otherwise, if they take too much time to message, if they make excuses to date you or to go on a date with you, or, you know, you name it, then bye-bye.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time with it.
Do you know that this is, now that I'm listening to both of you, that I think I had that yes moment only once in my entire life.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because I'm like, I'm listening and I'm like thinking and I'm like, okay, so, and that was my longest relationship. We were together for 7 years, but it was a yes from to a point that he would always take my side. Whatever the world would say against me, no way. Like, you would never, no one would ever make him change his mind about me because he was really happy. He was in love with me. It was a childhood love that we grew up together. And for this day, I have so much respect for this man. I know it's never going to work out again between us because of our path journey is different. It's going 2 different ways. But he's someone that I genuinely have so much respect. Then there was my dearest toxic ex. To be fair, I do have to give him credit. He taught me, like, you know, imagine if you could put all the red flags that you can think, like the biggest red flags. He was like all combined in one person. And I just kind of experienced everything. And I'm kind of happy I went through that with him. So, because now I don't have to go through it again. But I agree with what you said, that all the situationship that I faced here in Dubai were kind of situationship to make me realize all the things that I had to work on, such as, for example, myself. I'm a giver in a relationship, so I'm always like giving, that I don't even know what is receiving. Like, don't remember the last time I received love. Like, it's awkward for me even to receive love. Like, sometimes even from friends, you've experienced it, you've seen it. Sometimes I'm like, I don't take comments. I don't like you, like nice compliments, not comments, compliment. I don't take it. But that's because that was not, it's easy to say, yeah, because this man think that about me. No, it's an issue that I had myself from the get-go. You know, it's like a trauma to trauma to trauma to trauma. But again, I still have hope about dating in Dubai.
But Mia, what about you? What is, because you told us about one bad date, but what is the absolute worst date that you had?
The absolute worst date. I'm gonna put, cause I'm trying to think. Cause I think I had pretty bad dates. You know what? The reason why I have bad date now, when I have a date, I try to run away from them because I am so scared that it will be shit. But I listen to my gut feeling. No, but shit is fine. It's the F word that is bad. Okay, coming back to what I was saying. Anyway, so I think the worst date that I had, there was my second catfish, where he was super boring.
Catfish is on 3 episodes.
He was like, I couldn't even recognize him. We were in the park. It was I remember it was COVID time in London, and it was, I think, the second lockdown where you were finally allowed to go to the park. He was like, do you want to meet to the park? And I was like, yeah, sure. I couldn't even see him. He's like, I'm here. And I'm like, I can't see you. And then he's like, hi. 2 different person. The person on the picture and the person I saw was just like 2 different worlds. And I was like, oh God. And then I couldn't stay for this one though. I stayed for, I think, 15 minutes. And then I messaged my friend telling her, call me, make as if it's work. And then she called me and I was like, oh my God, I am so sorry, but I have to.
But I feel like in this case, it's like, yeah, you have to be completely honest.
Like, it's.
Because, man, like, what are they trying to achieve?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't say anything because you feel bad and
Yeah.
you feel more awkward to tell them than themselves, you
Mm.
know? But people, just be
I
yourself,
know.
and you have to be loved and liked as you are. There's so many people in this world. I believe that there's always someone for each other.
True. I agree. But I think I had very traumatic dates as well, but I think I'll put another one. Sorry, mama. I'm going to expose my mom too on this date. So basically, my toxic ex, it was a love bombing from the get-go. So like, imagine 2 weeks in, I love you. You're the love of my life. I'm going to marry you, blah, blah, blah. So we got together, and after I think 2 weeks, my mom came to London to visit me. And he was like, oh, I would like to meet your mom. And I was like, what? But it's relatively new. He's like, no, but I'm serious about you. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's go and have lunch with my mom. My mom and I went, met her. Again, my mom doesn't speak properly English, but I had to be kind of the translator between them. And then comes the moment of paying.
He made your mom pay.
So he was, at the beginning, everyone was so excited, la la la. We ordered like a bottle of Prosecco and we had lunch and it was beautiful, da da da. And then his card didn't work. And he was the one inviting. And then my mom understood because she knows me very well, and she understood, and she was like, oh, I'll pay for the bottle, I'll pay for the bill. And I was like, no. And she insisted to pay for the bottle, but then I got the bill for the food. And he made it as if, like, he felt a little bit bad, but afterwards he was like, oh, it's all good, as if nothing happened. And I'm like, dude, that's my mom, like.
He never said sorry to you, like it was embarrassing.
Well, he did tell me a whole story of bullshit that it was his money was from fraud, taken away, blah blah blah. But that's a story for another podcast. That's a very, very long story, but it was a lie, basically. So
man,
yeah,
We love men.
do we?
it's a love-hate situation, right?
Yeah, I think so too. Do you know what? Do you think it's true when men say women are complicated?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, we are. I think
we
we're very complex. They're very easy, you know.
And we're always like overthinking, and
Yes.
like I feel like
That is
life
true.
is easier than this.
Yeah, finding another meaning to everything, and I think like 99.9% of the time when they say something is what they mean, and us, we're always trying to send signals,
Yeah.
and they never get it because they're not made that way, right?
Says the person I put all my conversations in ChatGPT. Like, I'm
To
like,
analyze.
you know what I did like recently? Erica knows. I was having a conversation with an old situationship, like years, and he resurfaced out of like the mock, I don't know, like 1 year later. And we start speaking, and we were just speaking, and I said like, okay, let me go with the flow and see like what he's trying to reach out again. So we have this long conversation. At the end of the conversation, I feel like this guy is not like right. There is something wrong with him. So I like went into my notes, and all night I'm like, because I cannot just, it was an Instagram conversation, so I cannot just copy or
paste,
take whatever. So I was like in my notes putting like all the conversation like one by one, like
Jesus.
his like what he said, what I replied, blah 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 blah. So I put it into ChatGPT, and I just say like, without giving any background, analyze this person. Like I'm like, I feel like there's something wrong. And at the end, like it was like, yeah, this guy is like manipulative. They were like anger. I don't know, like everything was bad. Gaslighting. Everything was bad. There was not something that it was like nice. And I was
gonna use that next time.
like,
Sorry, side note. you can take a screenshot of that conversation, put it as a picture, and it will.
Why I didn't know this before? My
Yeah,
mom.
that's true. The pictures.
My mom was with me like, what are you doing? Like, I was just going from one screen to another, like copying, and I'm like, nothing. Like,
Screenshots.
yeah.
And upload as pictures. It will read it.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, now we know. Easier. But I was telling my mom like I did this, and like this is what it gave me, and I'm like, okay, like let me ask about the other person. Like maybe I'm also like a red flag, and I'm also like a problem. Okay, no, it was not like it didn't say something bad about me. It was like you're just emotionally attached, and which it made me realize like it's true. And whatever it says is like you're just trying to find a closure, and he will not give it to you. So like you're better off just without him, and I feel like you should block him. And I like took it to.
But do you think you had to wait for ChatGPT to tell you that you have, because you know it bothers me because I've been telling you this for the past years that I know you.
Yeah.
And you waited for AI.
By the way, Erica and we met because I was with him. I met him through Bumble. Like I will like do fast. I met him through Bumble. I left, like I never got to meet him in person, so I came back to Dubai, and then we were having like conversation like
that's him.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go on, explain to the audience because I know. Yes.
I mean, basically, yeah, fast forward, we were just having speaking on Instagram, and I'm like, okay, one of the reasons I moved to Dubai is because of a situation like that. I'm matched with a guy, and then he told me like, are you still here? And I'm like, no, I'm back in Mexico. We start speaking, and 1 year I was already like in university. I was still in university, so we continued speaking. And after 6 months of like speaking, he was like, why don't you come here? Like you can like live with me, like you can search for like a job here, blah blah. And I'm like, I'm planning to go anyway. So kind of like after some months, he was like, okay, so are we now not, let's not date other people, let's like just wait for to be together, and like we will be with each other, blah blah. And I literally say, okay, he seems like he's been honest, like we've been like it was 1 year like speaking. I book a flight, and I put 1 day before, because I'm like, I just want to go first like to hotel, and like no, like directly from like the hotel to pick me up. And I remember telling him like 3 weeks before, like, oh, it's just 3 weeks more, and then we will like finally we will meet. And he was like, yeah, I cannot wait, blah blah blah. I arrive, I message him, silent, like he never responds.
Okay.
And
You don't know this story?
I do, but it's still
Yeah,
me, you know,
I know,
and
it's
you know
horrible.
that.
I think that's one of the things I'm like, you can just be honest. Like
Exactly,
after 1
exactly.
year, I think we had a conversation later, and I'm like, I mean, I was just making my mind with like, was that everything in my mind? Did I misread something? Did I sell something to myself that it was not true? And he was like, no, Fernanda, like I actually like you, but I just, when you were here, like I didn't know if I wanted a relationship. And I'm like,
Dude, you just
had
said-
1 year to like,
Exactly.
even if it's not, you say like, hey Fernanda, you know, like you can come, but like honestly, let's see how
course.
it goes. Like let's not live together. But he was the one who suggested me to move with him. So
How crazy is that? I mean,
I'm gonna
and you
leave
come,
it.
and
Yeah,
she actually never met
got
the guy.
I never in my life.
And
Ever.
Did you block him? No?
No. I mean, I know
Oh.
I don't have him on Instagram.
He
nothing.
doesn't deserve your time and your energy. Like, excuse me, he's been lying from the get-go. And God
it's not
knows,
about lying.
but
It's
it's
about
the-
you making someone move
it's
from to the other part of the world, you know?
it's manipulative. That's the word that
Yeah.
I was looking for.
But the funny thing is, last year I went to Kevin Hart with Erica, and I was like in my car, like I was like in the signal. Erica was in the car in front of me, and I was just like, these moments that you're like, finally, like my life is good, you know, like music is good in the radio, like we just have like a good time. I live in Dubai, like these moments that you're like, oh, I live in Dubai,
Yeah,
you know. I'm like,
yeah.
I was so happy. I had the windows rolled down. I looked to the right, and he was standing in the sidewalk, like in the line, yeah. And I was like, like, and then the signal turns green. So I have to move, and I'm like, then I call Erika, like, Erika, like, he's here. And it was
but
weird.
first she was like,
I
I'm
was-
in panic. And what happened? And she's like, I saw the guy.
Yeah.
She was telling me his name, and I was like, are you sure? But how are you sure?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, it was him. And we had to stop.
No, I like, yeah, I saw it like now. I'm like, I was about to just stop and say to someone, like, please take my car, I need to run. I just wanted him, like, to see and, like, be like, it's me, like,
I get what you mean. You wanted that closure.
yeah, just like be like, dude, like
That's me.
it's like,
Yeah.
this is actually me, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a traffic, and Erika's like, let's find just a parking, like, let's go somewhere. It was so far where we found a parking, and Erika asked me, like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I actually want to run, and I just want to see if I can see him. Like, not to say something, it's just like, just to finally put like a face to that person.
True.
And Erika said, like, Fernanda, like, just look at yourself. You are here. You are fine. You made it. Like, you don't need him.
Exactly, 100%.
And I just took my car and I went home.
I agree. Words of wisdom.
Wait. So that is my dating history. Like,
Yeah, sorry, that is not even the
yeah,
story.
that's not even the story. Sorry, I will be fast.
Never.
So when I was speaking with this guy, different one, years later, we were in the message, like, speaking over message, and I'm like, okay, he doesn't live here, he lives in Switzerland, and I'm like, I don't want this to happen again, like, again, speaking with a guy and you don't even know, like, if he's actually honest. So after 3 months, we, like, said, like, we will meet each other, and I flew there on a random Tuesday night.
Okay.
And the first time that I was gonna see him, I was gonna spend 5 days with him.
Okay.
So, like, it could have been, like, good or bad. I forgot what I was telling the story.
Because we met, actually we were working together, right?
Yeah.
And then we got to get closer because of this.
So at that time, I think I just met you we were
Yeah.
2 weeks that I met you.
Yeah, which month was it?
I went February.
February. So it was like a month and a half that I was in the company. So
Yeah.
we barely knew each other.
Yeah, it was like, hey, and how are
And all
you?
of a sudden I get a message from her on WhatsApp, and she's like, can I call you? And I was like, sure.
And it was really early, like, you just arrived.
I was at work, yeah, of course.
And yeah, there in Europe it was like 6 a.m. for you, was like 9 a.m. or something. And I was just having a panic attack, I don't know, out of nowhere at night. And I was like with him, and it was nothing bad. Like, he was a really nice guy. I mean, at that moment, later now. But I feel like that's your gut feeling telling you, because from that moment, I'm like, it was weird. Like, how do you have a panic attack when nothing was happening?
I agree.
And now literally this guy of the manipulative and all of that.
There you go. I think there's something that is not women being complex. That is women having that sixth sense. We have a gut feeling that is freaking unreal. And I realized that when you tune into that gut feeling, you're never wrong. Like,
No.
they can say whatever they want to say. Like, no, we're crazy, we're overthinking. When that gut feeling hits you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We always know.
But we were speaking about that when we were in a relationship and the guy cheated on us. We knew exactly the
exactly.
moment. Even if it's the relationship still the same, he's still replying, everything, it's fine. There is something that
changes.
you know, like,
yeah,
and you
something
notice
changes.
right away.
Yeah.
And it's not overthinking. That's just a gut feeling.
No.
You just feel it, and you're like, I know.
Of course.
I know. You can tell me, you can buy me the biggest story of your life, but I know exactly what's happening. But I need to tell you a story. She knows about it. About
I
dating.
know all the stories of everyone. They don't know mine.
You can share yours. You can share. Okay, I'll share mine and you'll share yours.
No. I shared my stories, no?
You don't have one more you want to share?
Let's see the time. Let's go.
So, basically, there was this guy at the gym that I really liked. Okay. I went out of my comfort zone. And I was like, do you know, I'm very a traditional girl, which means I prefer a guy approaching me, talking to me, making the first step, because it shows that you're interested. So I noticed this guy here and there, you know. I remember the first day I noticed him, Erica was not training with me, and I went and I sent her a voice, and I was like, do you know what? I think I have a gym crush. He's really handsome, you know. He seems to be like, for me, he's not like a hot dude, but he's a
No, but he's cute.
He's cute. He's a cute, normal guy. Put it like this. Okay. I was like,
He has legs, like, yeah.
exactly.
That's
An
enough.
arm. Yeah.
Exactly. He forms part of my list of
Okay.
thing. Anyway, so I see him, and I was like, all the time I see him, I smile, and I'm like all happy, and I'm like all, you know, like like butterfly in the stomach whenever I see him. Then that one day we went to the gym late. And he usually always come in the morning. It was the first time he was there in the evening, and I was like, oh my god, he's here. And then we said, I was like, and I said this just joking, huh? I was like, yeah, if after we're done training, if he's still there, I'll speak to him, or I'll find a way to kind of speak to him. Now I was taking my sweet time, we took all the time, blah blah blah, and I couldn't see him, so I was like, okay, he's gone, I don't have to do anything. We go to the restaurant to get something to eat because it was late. Guess who walks in? He walks in. And he sits literally like opposite us, basically. And I'm like, okay, now I need to find a way. But that would be very random that you're at a restaurant and you go to someone and you're like, hey, how are you? You good? Just wanted to say hello. You know, I thought it would be very random. So she gave me the idea of write a note. So I asked. And I was asking everyone in the gym, what's his name? Because the reason I didn't want to look, I was not a creep, but I just wanted to make sure that he was single, that I was not attacking someone who's in a relationship. So I put a note. I get a note from
Someone.
from the restaurant, a piece of paper, and I write, and I said, hey, you're cute. If you're single, here is my number. And I mentioned, if you're single. And I said to the girl, can you give that to the guy over there, but wait for me to leave.
Okay.
So we leave, night, we go to bed, and I'm like, oh my God, there's that mix of excitement and like, you know, like it was a happy, but also like an anxious moment. And also like, I don't care anyway, like it's not going to change anything to my life. He messaged back in the morning. He said, hey, I got your note. No, I should do it how I did it with Gus. Hey, wave. I got your notes. He was like, how are you doing this morning? I believe you're from the UK because I gave him my personal number, which is a UK number. And what did he say? He said, how long you've been in Dubai? I replied to the message, since today, 0 response.
But I don't see it as a bad thing.
I mean, it's a good thing because now I know that obviously it was never meant to be.
But it can go both ways. Like when you do that, it's always 50-50. Like
100%. But why would you reply?
But it's like, I mean, you already gave your information. Like maybe he had like, again, we go back to expectations. Maybe his type is a British girl or whatever.
True, I agree.
So whenever he sees like, oh, she's British or something, like he will be interested. Like maybe if you give more information, like I'm from Madagascar or whatever.
Which I did tell him.
Yeah, so when you told him, probably he's like, you know, it's just not my type, and that's also respectful. Like, I have done it 2 times that I gave my phone to someone. Like, again, I wrote it on a note and I gave it. And one of them was I have a 3 years almost relationship with him. And it worked perfectly. Like, it was a guy who I was always sure, like, no doubt. But also with the other, it was like we spoke, and then he was like, you know, like you're just not my type, and that's it. Like it's also respectful, but
that's fine. I get you,
but at least answer to
exactly.
That, you know.
But Erica, you know how, like for example, me, I'm bad at replying.
But not everyone is.
I know, but I'm saying like if I'm bad at replying, and I feel like sometimes maybe, I mean, again, excusing people, which is not good. But I'm saying like, for me, maybe to not hurt someone's feelings, I will just say like, you know, what happened to me with the guy in Rome. Like, it's just like, I know, even when you told me, like, just tell him, like, you know, like, thank you.
Yeah, I wouldn't entertain something that is not for me. Like, and I wouldn't do it in a way that is hurtful.
Yeah.
But I would just try to be as careful and nice as possible in such a way, because
exactly.
if you remember, there was someone who texted me and who wanted to travel with
I
me,
remember.
and I just said to him that it was a very nice friendship, but I didn't see anything else further
Exactly.
than
It's
that.
being
And he didn't take it right, but how would he feel if I
Of
entertained
course.
that for a bit, just because I
But
felt
wait.
bad, to be honest,
Of
from the
course.
beginning?
But
No.
you knew him from like more dates, or do you know, or it was
No,
like
I cannot say the name, but
no,
you
no,
know
no.
this
I'm
person.
saying like it was not that one time. Like if a guy comes to me and say like, "Hey, there's my number," and then we message, and then I just don't reply. It's like also I don't own him nothing because I don't even know him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine, but I also don't understand why he would message in the first
First
place.
place, like, yeah, you can just
You
leave it
know.
like that. You know what I mean?
But even though she said it's from where she is, he cannot assume
Yeah, but
how she
some
looks
some
like.
people
Yeah,
they
well, yeah.
they are
Yeah, that wasn't a
Yeah.
right move, and
But
well,
it's okay.
yeah.
I'll
we live, we
probably
learn.
I'll probably give my number to someone else
You
worth
should.
it.
I
You
think you
should.
should. Well, I had bad stories as well giving my number.
I used to give Erica's number.
You gave my number
time.
once.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
actually worked. So
It worked.
It worked for,
Yeah. It was like, that is the third
Yeah.
note, but it was from you.
Yeah.
Other two, one worked. I dated him long distance for a while. Second one, he hid from me that he was married. So yeah. Yeah, so he replied, and like, we were talking for a while, but also it didn't go well because
he
of
was
that.
only replying from 9 to 5.
No, from Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
Then he would block me during the week, and then that's how I found out.
Jesus. He was in Dubai?
Yeah.
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 Let's not talk about married men
Yeah.
who pretends that they're single but where they're not. They have a very serious relationship. Anyway, talking about enough of our bad mouthing, dating, and men and all of this.
Traumas.
I'm gonna put the spotlight on you, Erica,
Yeah.
because
We don't know you. We want to know you.
Yeah, because okay, you've kissed a lot of frogs before you found your prince.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about what is the difference. Tell us about your relationship. How did you know that he was the one? How did you know that he was different from all of your previous relationships?
And don't make us cry.
Like,
Yeah.
I am curious because, like we just mentioned, like, I don't know what it is to have that yes moment, but you are now in a serious relationship and you found your person. So if you were, for example, to give us advice, just tell us about everything, obviously from the day that you met, or maybe if you're comfortable, obviously talking about it, of how you met and all of this.
Yeah. So we met at Mulai once again. Mulai
Mulai.
is coming in the podcast. Like, they should sponsor you.
At
by
this
the
point.
way, yeah. At this point, it was the first time for Mia too. She asked me to go with her to this place, and for that she takes a lot of credit to this.
I am very
It was
proud
your
of
first
this.
time, no?
I felt like
Yeah.
I felt
Yeah.
like Cupid that day.
Yeah, and it was Dia's second time. The first time he went there,
He didn't find no
I
one.
think it was no, men only.
He's like, no,
It was
this
the
time, maybe
search.
next one.
Yeah. No, it was men only the first time. I think like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. And so we went there and we were talking to people, getting to know each other, and so then Diaz was there.
He talked to her like throughout.
I was.
But you told me, like, yeah, when you saw him, you were like, oh, like,
Yeah, I felt the interest.
yeah.
Although there is doubts
But
at the
you had
beginning.
interest.
I also had interest
Yeah.
because at the end of the thing, I went to Mia and I was like, damn, he didn't even ask for my number.
Yeah, because he was like, because I remember that moment very well. Because I was like, because I went to her and I was like, he liked you. And then she was like, nah, he took that other chick's number and not my number.
By the way, he didn't take another girl's number. He actually knew this girl. He was just talking to her about something. I got to know that later. but yeah, so then eventually we got to talk through Instagram and things rolled from there. But the thing is, that was on a Sunday, and that same week I was supposed to travel on Thursday. And well, anyway, something like that. I can't get to remember exactly the days, but I went for a coffee with him uh, just the day before traveling for Christmas, and it was very nice. Like, the time just passed, and I don't know, for some reason I talked so much for 2 hours.
Also, to him, you speak.
Sorry.
To him, you're like, okay, let me tell you about my life.
Yeah.
And here we are, me and I, like, tell us about you.
Well, you know already about my story. And then I left. That day I was in so much chaos with work, so I left from him to go back to work, and it was already like 8 p.m. I had to do some work, and then pack my stuff for the next morning to travel, right? And I was stressed because I really liked him, and I thought, oh my god, I'm going to leave for 15 days.
Yeah, I don't
And
remember
maybe, I was telling you, and maybe, the things will cool down, and then he wouldn't, remember me, or he would just meet someone else. Who knows, right? That all of that was going on in my head. But then I said to myself, listen, if this is meant to be, no matter these 15 days, and no matter, like, whatever, like, it will happen. So I just calmed down and let it flow, and he was messaging me every day, and he's really bad at messaging. Like, he was putting a true effort into that. He told me later on, like, I didn't even know what to tell you. Like, I was trying
to know how to type, even.
So yeah, but I had that feeling from the beginning, that interest in him. Actually, he's a person that always show interest in when people are talking and so on. I got to learn that about him.
For that.
Yeah. So he actually listened, but I don't know, I already felt that he had an interest in me. And then there was a doubt because I left, but after I came back the next day, I think I already had a date with him, and then another one, and it just felt so natural from the beginning, right? Because
I keep, like, smiling in it,
because one thing that I remember, because we went for walks. It was one evening after her couple of dates of her. They were in that dating moment of, like, seeing each other, and she mentioned, she's like, oh, like, I feel like they are very, as much as there are two different personalities, but you guys are kind of looking at the same thing for the future, like, kind of aligning. You say, okay, I want this, and you're like, oh my god, me too, and then it just makes sense, and I was like, yeah, it's hard to explain your relationship, like, in words when I see you both, because it just makes sense. But how do you feel, as in, how did you know after those dates that, okay, this is my person?
But I feel like you knew, like, from the first day. Like, I think you told me, like, I mean, I'm speaking for you, but, like, I can tell, like, you were like,
yeah, it was, you don't feel stressed. Yes, there was a little bit of uncertainty because of the travel and all, but after I came back, like, he was just there. I don't even know how to explain, but he was answering to me, he was making plan, he was asking me what I wanted to do next weekend. So there was already plans for the near future, but there was something. It was not like, oh, okay, let's see. And so that reassured me and showed his interest in me. And yeah, talking about that, I think it's very important to have the same vision.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not even about what kind of food you like, or
which color. What's your favorite color?
Yeah. Or if you prefer to watch football and I prefer to watch a comedy.
Yeah.
It's not about that, but it's the ultimate goals, and we have so many things in common that make us closer together.
And I feel like you have all this real talk from the beginning. Like, the first months it was like real talk.
Yes.
So, like, after that there's nothing left, like,
just
just not to
Leave the band-aid from the beginning, so everything is clear.
Yeah.
And I think that is so essential, and I think that's something that people should do from the get-go. Not wait to have feeling for someone to then talk about those uncomfortable subject that you would have to speak with a partner. You know, when I say uncomfortable subject, it's like marriage, money, prenup, kids, like finances, I said. But all of these conversation that obviously, if it is important, because at the end of the day, you're a partnership. You know, it's two people that are together that are going to build a life. And I'm so glad that obviously you guys did that, and it's such a good example that these are the kind of, as did you ever fear having these conversations from the get-go?
No, I think he feared it more than I did.
I mean, we all fear with cake.
No, they came naturally to us.
Yeah.
Some conversations were harder than others.
Yeah.
But kids, money, where to live, how to manage our finances, and what do you want to do with your life? Where do you see yourself? That was all good, because why would you waste time? For example, if I don't want kids and the other person does, that is going nowhere, because the person who wants kids most probably will never change his mind. And the other person either. Maybe
they might, but
you never know. And why waste so many years or months or whatever, even a day of your life, if you're going different directions? And I think that is the most important thing when it comes to already starting dating, because sometimes we want to give hope when we want to have a relationship and we want to find that love, but at the same time we need to be realistic, and
100%.
if you want this and I want the opposite, then it's better just to part ways and find the right person.
But I think like something that you mentioned is the peace, and that's really true. Like when you're with someone, it's not like that rush, it's not like that adrenaline. Like sometimes it's literally just peace. Like you can be in silence and you are fine with that person. And I feel with you were okay to having those conversations because it was part of that like peaceful in me, like, oh, that person, like it's someone that I can actually have this conversation. Because sometimes we are with someone and we are like, no, I will not bring up kids, I will not say something that maybe will like he will back up, or some like you are more careful when it's that, then that's not the right person.
True, I agree.
But also it's because of experience, right? Because I went through so much on my last relationship, and because I don't even know why, because I am also happy when I was single. Like I never
you were like I'm fine.
But and with my previous relationship it was black and white, in every sense, and I don't know why I stayed for so long. And it was part of my learning journey, and that's why with Diaz was different, because I learned from that not to make the same mistakes again.
True, I agree. So to sum up, if you were to give me, for example, what do you think are, for example, let's say the 3 key building or foundation of a solid relationship?
Trust.
Honesty. Trust and honesty, they go hand in hand. And having the same vision. Well, and love, of course. Love has to be there, but trust and honesty and the same vision. Like you cannot go different paths, because then at some point you'll divert. That's the most important.
To you, what do you think?
I mean, I don't know.
I know, we're single, but still,
but what you can
what do you think in your eyes are your 3 solid foundation for a very solid relationship in your eyes?
I feel like trust for sure, and I think, I mean, I literally is what Erica says. Like I don't know what else to add. It's if you don't have love, if you don't have, because we were speaking about the attraction, that it also you have to have some sort of attraction to that person.
Absolutely, but that is not even the most important one. Like, yes, there has to be.
No, because you always say, like, whenever we are 60, like, you will not look into your partners and like, oh, look at this hot dude that is like,
no, that will go
because
away.
that will go,
100%. It's the personality. It's the inside of the person. It's not the physique. Physique, we all change.
No, listen. I'm not saying that you don't have to look for the physique or the looks at all. Like, you have to have some sort of attraction.
100%.
But it's not the ultimate goal.
I agree.
No.
I completely agree.
Stop looking for perfection, you know? Like, if there is something that is not 100% what you want in that person's look, it's okay.
And look changes. You can, as long as the base is handsome.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. Yeah. Girls, if you remember, I mentioned to you I twisted my structure because I wanted to do something fun. It was lovely talking about dating, but now we're going to talk, before we close the episode, we're going to talk about red flag, green flag, or any other flags. So I'm going to say a statement, and then you will say green flag, red flag.
Okay.
Or if you think it's neutral, beige flag.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready? He says he doesn't believe in labels.
Red flag.
I mean, it depends. For me, no, it's like a red flag. But because this is not what I want.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. You just, it's like, I'm just going to say different statement, and then you get to say, okay?
Red flag.
All right.
Is it for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
He still texts his ex happy birthday.
Red flag.
Sorry, it's a beige situation over there.
Really?
Yeah, I still wish my ex happy birthday. I'm not with him. I don't have love for him.
No. And I wouldn't feel bad if DS does.
It's a 7 years relationship. It's like a long time. Like, I'll never fall in love ever again. Beige flag for me.
Yeah, I don't see the wrong in it. I mean, if it's just for that sort of thing, I wouldn't expect them to be besties, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
He only has mirror selfies in the gym.
No, red
flag. Red flag.
He's 35 and still live with his parents.
Red flag.
He's never been in a serious relationship.
I don't know about that one.
No, for me it's a red flag.
I mean,
big one. Big one.
Talking about a grown-up man, yes,
yeah,
of course.
For sure. But if they're 20, like...
Are you going to be dating them?
Yeah.
You know, after you have to wait for the legal age, otherwise you're a pedophile.
I mean, in Mexico is 18, so I'm fine.
I don't know, in Dubai.
Dubai too, Mia. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they change. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 18.
That's right.
Oh God, lost. He plans the 3 dates in advance.
Sorry?
He plans the first 3 dates in advance.
That's cute.
It's
a green flag for me. I like it. At least I know what.
But if it's a creepy guy, you would not like it.
I mean, yeah, true.
He's the short guy who you went on a date.
He's like, oh, we're going for drinks tonight. Tomorrow we're going for lunch, and in 2 days we're going
honestly, I would say a red flag because wherever I speak with someone, friends, those are the guys who, at the end, they ditch or I don't know something.
If they plan the dates,
they're like, yeah, we will do this. We will like go, and then they're like gone.
Really? It never happened
Ghosting.
To me. No, I just heard from someone.
All right.
No, not for me, I swear.
Yeah. He shows up 15 minutes early to your date.
Green flag.
Huh? 15 minutes early to your date.
I love that.
Okay. He's 32 and says he's just not ready for a relationship.
He's what?
32.
When then?
And he's not ready for a relationship.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's
a red flag.
Actually,
no,
32
hold on.
I think it's fine. Yeah.
That old, like
I think
after 35.
Yeah.
I think it's a beige flag.
No, but like if you see
But
guys in
going
like
to red.
dating apps and then they're like 36 and they're like figuring out like
Yeah,
what
no,
are you
that's
figuring
different,
out?
yeah.
They're
But
in a dating app.
32 because I think they're still quite young and maybe they
Yeah.
want to still live the life a little bit. It's okay. But after 35, it depends. So if they find a person that is good for them and they still say that they
Yeah.
don't want to commit, then it's a red flag. But
Mhm.
if they haven't found the one, then it's different.
All right. He's super close to his mom, like super close.
Creepy close.
Creepy close.
Oh no, red
Like-
flag.
like
No,
like
no,
you
no.
basically
Mommy issues.
like,
No, thank you.
like the mom is in the relationship.
Oof, no,
No,
no. Thank
I
you,
never
bye.
had one of those things, guys.
Me neither.
Did
Knock
I?
on wood.
Yeah.
No touch. Wait, hold on. Yes, I'm very.
You're fine now.
I'm fine. Hopefully, maybe he's hiding it from me.
Mommy. He never compliments your appearance, only your energy.
That's a beige flag because I think that is also important to, to compliment both, not just
But
your energy.
They don't do your appearance.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like it's beige, like it's not a red flag.
But he never's like, oh, you're pretty, you're beautiful.
Yeah, but he's
You're
complimenting
like, you're
something else.
intelligent.
So let's say if you were to go, let's say he never compliments your appearance. So which means let's say you go on a
Yeah,
date,
doesn't-
one of a day, and he's like, "I love your energy, babe."
I love your vibes.
Did that ever happen to you? That's
No.
No,
weird.
but it's a statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
No,
I wouldn't
for me,
like
no.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he split the dinner bill
When?
on your first date.
No.
He has no hobbies, just work and Netflix.
No.
No.
He sends no girl.
Red flag.
He sends voice note only, never text.
I don't mind.
I
I'm
don't
okay
mind
with
either,
that.
yeah.
So
a beige flag.
Yeah, beige.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
neutral.
fine.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I don't
He
know.
calls
but
you
fine.
wifey after 3 dates.
No, red flag.
Red flag. That's weird.
He's between jobs and it's been 8 months.
Red flag.
Yeah.
He is spiritual but also super passive aggressive.
Red flag.
Oh, I can think of someone.
He drives a G-Wagon but lives in a shared apartment.
No, red
No,
flag.
red.
He
Yeah.
only invites you out on weekdays, never on the weekends.
Red flag. Why
Yeah.
would he do that?
Okay, I've had a lot of red flags in this statement. Jesus.
Is there any
You're just
more?
giving us like bad things.
Yeah, I feel like it's only a red flag statement. Okay, so what do you think is a green flag? Give me 4 green flags and 4 green flags. It can't be the same.
I mean, can we do it like together? Because I cannot.
Oh, 5. Then
let's,
5.
Let's do 5
Yeah.
together and
Yeah.
So let's say
Actions over words.
Yes.
absolutely. Keep asking you out and not making excuses.
Respectful.
Yes.
Color.
Emotionally stable.
Oh, yes, of course. It has to be.
Emotionally intelligent.
Emotionally intelligent.
And stability as
And
well.
stability.
stability.
All the stability in one. Emotionally, career,
Yeah.
everything, mental, everything. And last,
He never puts excuses for, like not doing something. They would just take their faults and apologize.
Like he's
Yeah, like if you make a mistake,
Mm.
just acknowledge that.
perfect.
Accountability.
I love that. All right, so we're gonna close the episode, ladies. But before we close, I have to do my rapid fire question. It will be very rapid fire, I promise you.
They are like weird.
I promise you it's a rapid fire question. Listen, there's 2 guests, so the episode is bound to be a bit longer. But I'm gonna be very quick, okay?
Okay.
Just shoot, no thinking, shooting right
But
away.
who are you going to ask?
To both of you. You
Okay.
just give me your answers.
Okay.
Worst date location?
To a club?
In a hot.
First thing you notice in a guy?
The teeth.
The hands.
Tits?
The teeth. The teeth.
Sorry.
Okay.
Alright. Texting back instantly, cute or clingy?
Cute.
Not cute.
How many talking stages is too many?
Like a week.
Yeah, weak.
One thing that gives you the ick.
Sounds when they eat.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a big no. Like, I cringe so much with that.
Yeah, I mean, same. People who they take a lot of selfies, guys. Yeah.
Also, yeah. Also, yes.
No, like they're active on social media.
Okay.
Sorry, no, Diaz. Diaz is
No, it's
different.
different.
Yeah, it's
He
different.
does
Like
it for work.
guys that
Yeah.
they're like.
I
yeah.
understand it.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Turn on that's not physical.
Laugh,
Laugh.
jokes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, jokes. Okay.
Sense of humor. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that word, like you laugh a lot and then you're naked.
Yeah.
Honesty.
Voice notes, sexy or stressful?
Say again.
Sexy.
What did you say?
Voice notes, sexy or stressful?
Sexy.
Would you date someone who with no social media?
I would love to.
Yes.
One non-negotiable in a partner.
Sharing,
I agree.
even if it's scary.
Yes. Always pick up.
Would you go on a second date with someone who bought a coupon on the first?
Depends.
Yeah, I don't know. One day with a guy, he was like, "Do they have entertainment?" Like probably like it's.
I don't
fine,
know.
no?
Here in Dubai, it's so common that I don't know. I probably would find it cheap.
Imagine
but
the
it's
car
not a.
is the Carrefour coupons of like the 2 burgers for 20 dirham. Depends which coupon probably.
Okay, what's worse, ghosting or breadcrumbing?
I think bread.
Breadcrumbing.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I agree.
Describe your love life in 3 emojis.
You know, the melted, the one that is melted.
Yeah.
That is my first one.
Be honest with the other ones.
Beep.
No. Kills. My mom.
The
was
fire.
that. Yes, fire and heart.
Okay.
I don't know. I really don't know.
One emoji.
My dating life, one emoji, like it's non-existent. It's probably the emoji with like invisible. that is, like I cannot even think. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And the last one dating advice for any ladies watching us.
Don't date. I'm joking. Run. Be honest.
Trust your gut.
Yeah. Trust your gut.
Thank you, ladies. It was lovely
Thank
having you.
Mia.
That was a lovely conversation.
Thank you, Mia.
Enough of bashing men's. Guys, I would be interested. What is your dating experience? Write it in the comments. What do you think is a red flag, a green flag? Please write it in the comment. Would be happy to read you. But before I leave you girls, one last thing. So I know I said a lot of last thing, but I have to do this one. So I've introduced my advice or note that my last guest left for you.
Okay.
And then you can write it, and then it's domino effect.
And this
Okay.
one is actually from Keisha.
Yeah, she knows.
Kish links.
So, be crazy, be wild, be a monkey, and enjoy life.
That's
Nice.
Kisha.
It's very much her.
Thank you so much, girls.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
was lovely. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. It's very late. I appreciate it so much for making time. And I wish you all the best in your loving life. And you too. May you
Yeah.
find your Prince Charming.
Yeah, somewhere. It's there.
You will
Yeah.
when the time's right.
Exactly. So thank you so much. I hope you come back, both of you.
Yeah, for sure. We should do like a group chat.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll do a part 2.
Yeah. Thank
Definitely.
you, Mia.
Thank you,
Thank
girls.
you, Mia.
And on that note, guys, I'm gonna love you and leave you. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.